Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm here sitting at the table with Mr. Sam Healey.
Hello, hello.
Playing one of your favorite games of all time.
Third favorite game of all time. This is right up behind Blood Rage and TI4.
We're diving into Memoir 44.
Memoir 44, Richard Borg, Days of Wonder. This is my favorite war-ish game.
War-ish.
I'll do that to keep everybody happy.
An important caveat on the edge of that.
I will say that, yes.
I am super thrilled and super excited to not only be able to sit down and play with Mr. Sam Healey, but this is the first time I've been able to dive into this system, and I've been talking about it all week that I've been here playing games with you. I can't wait to either get completely annihilated and embarrassed, but at least get a chance to experience this game.
Not necessarily so. This game really does simulate, because you do roll the dice for hits. Yeah. So it does simulate fog of war, changes in your situation beyond your control, that kind of stuff. It does handle that well. And a lot of people have to realize it's not solely based on strategy, but there is a lot of strategy into it. Just realize that
it seems like a simple system from what you've taught me so far, with a really interesting kind of tactical maneuver. Like, you're thinking on your feet constantly.
Correct.
Which I like the approach so far.
Yeah.
Could you please give us a 60-second overview, or a 60-second-ish overview to keep everyone happy?
Sure, yes.
And then we'll dive into the flavor text and play a little bit.
Okay, so Memoir 44 is basically a scenario-driven, card-driven game for 2 players. You have the Allies on one side and you have the Axis on the other side. There are a lot of different scenarios where the Allies could be British forces, whereas the Axis powers could be Japanese forces or something to that effect, or Russians and Chinese or whoever it might be. So what you're doing basically is you're trying to score a number of medals to win this scenario. This particular scenario, we're having to get 6 medals for victory conditions. You get medals in a couple of different ways. Basically, you get a medal for eliminating an enemy unit, basically reducing their combat effectiveness down to 0. The last person in the unit becomes one of your medals on the side of the board. Another way that we can get medals in this scenario is by holding certain parts of the board, and those are called temporary medals. So the Germans have 1 temporary medal here and 1 temporary medal over there. The Americans have 1 temporary medal right here that they can hold. As long as they hold those spots, they have those victory points. But if the other force pushes them off or eliminates that unit that's holding that area, they'll lose that medal. But generally speaking, you're trying to eliminate the other person's forces so that you can get those medals, and whoever gets 6 medals first is the winner.
Yeah. Now, there are going to be, based on the scenario you're playing, some different terrain conditions that you're working with. Basic overview of that is we're going to have towns and villages, forests, rivers and waterways, and hills in our scenario. For the most part, they do things like provide extra defense, block line of sight, and we'll dig into them as we're diving into the game if they become evident or important for a specific moment.
Yep.
Outside of that, like you said, there's a ton of variability in scenarios with this experience.
Oh my. There's a lot out there, and they're starting to reprint a lot of it as well, which is a really cool thing for me, because that means more people are going to be able to find it and get a hold of it. So there's huge scenarios. The basic box comes with, I think, 13, 14, 15, 16 scenarios that you can play in the core box. And then each of the expansions usually brings around, I think, anywhere from 3 to 6 more scenarios.
So I'm overly excited. We're going to go ahead and dive into this, starting, of course, with the appropriate amount of historical flavor text.
Yes.
And for those of you that are tuning in because you're a fan of Sam Healey, you enjoy what he does. I know I say that at the front of each one. You really do have a whole audience of people out there that want to know what you're up to.
Yeah, well, I'm the U.S. Community Director for Mythic Games right now. Mythic Games is a company that's based in France, and in Paris, and we have games like Solomon Kane, Reichbusters, Enchanters now in our Phoenix line, Super Fantasy Brawl. Steam Watchers is currently fulfilling right now.
Darkest Dungeon, some
Six
recent
Siege,
big titles.
Darkest Dungeon, Hell, The Last Saga are all in the production phase pretty much right now. Generally speaking, that's a broad use of the word production, but in various stages of production, I'll put it that way.
Yep.
So, and we've got some really cool stuff coming up in the near future as well.
One of the reasons why I'm down here in over here, one of the reasons why I have been given permission to harass Sam Healey for a few days is because we're getting you set up and running with your brand new studio space so that you can produce not only content around Mythic Games, but also some content in general over on the Mythic Games YouTube channel. Possibly doing some scenarios of this down the road, but certainly doing some gameplays and some how to plays and overviews of the titles.
One of the coolest things that I used to do at the Dice Tower that I really enjoyed doing was I would do me versus the internet with Memoir 44 scenarios. So we usually had one day and time set aside per week where people would meet with me and they would elect one person in the chat. That would be the player against me, but they would all be able to converse and talk about what choices.
And then that person would make the final decision.
Yes, and then it's who we played a whole campaign that way, and it was one of the funnest things I've ever done.
That's awesome. So if you're a fan, swing over to the Mythic Games YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. You're going to see a lot more of Sam Healey over there.
In the future, in the future. We're going to hit the ground running here in the next couple of weeks, but
we're getting up and going. You already do weekly newscasts and live streams.
Do newscast stuff. But
and if people come over and start leaving comments saying, "Hey, we want to beat you at Memoir 44," listen, the people doth demand.
Yes, they do.
Let's swing into this. Let's get some historical context established.
Every single scenario comes with historical background, so we do like to read about this. So, the Mont-le-Mar battle square, bounded on three sides by rivers, covered ground that alternated between flat open farmland, rugged hills, and woods. Route N7, the main north-south artery, runs along the Rhone River and was vital to the German forces. By August 22nd, 1944, Allied forces had moved quickly north from the Anvil Dragoon landing beaches and now threatened supplies moving down N7 and this important northern escape route. Skirmishes broke out in the area as both sides tried to determine the strength of the other side. On the 24th of August, the fog of war for the German forces dissipated when a detailed copy of Allied operational plans for August 25th fell into their hands. The German plan of attack on the 25th was ambitious, but with a coordinated effort, the plan would cut off American forces on Hill 300 and the Condillac Pass. Group Tim in the north took Grain, but failed to advance south. The attacks against Hill 430 never began, and although the 326th Grenadiers did take Bonlieu, they were driven back by our American artillery. The American effort to cut the N7 road failed when a strong counterattack forced them to retire back into the hills. The action at Mont-le-Mar this day ended in a stalemate. The stage is set, the battle lines are drawn, and you are in command. The rest is history.
Cool.
All right, so we have already kind of set up. I've taken 5 command cards. The Allies have taken 5 command cards. The Axis player will be the first person to go. The conditions of victory, as we mentioned earlier, is 6 medals. An Axis unit that captures the town of Bonlieu or Grain counts as 1 victory medal. Place an objective medal in each of these. So as long as I have an Axis unit on one of those hexes, I have those.
Yep.
The Allied unit that captures any hex adjacent to the Rhone. All right, so if you capture any of these hexes that are adjacent to the Rhone here, as long as you stayed there, only 1 objective medal is gained, even if more than 1 hex is captured.
I just want that riverfront access.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to push through and provide a line, basically. All right, there are a couple of special rules. The hill hexes north of the Condillac Pass, Axis right, are impassable. So Axis right is over here. So this right here is impassable.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I have 1 lowly squad of people facing down 3 tanks. What are those? Pizer? What are they called again?
Panzer Grenadiers.
Panzer Grenadiers and a unit of okay.
The Axis Special Force Infantry units are elite Panzer Grenadier units, so they basically are able to move 1 or 2 and still attack, whereas a basic infantry unit can only move 1 and attack. If he wants to move 2, he can, but he just can't fire at that point. And we're ready to go.
Cool.
All right, so the basic way you play the game is that you play 1 card, do what it allows you to do, discard it, draw a new one, and then it's your turn. Okay?
I already don't love my tank distribution at the moment.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
I at least want to make a showing. The first game ever, so it's a lot to expect. But I at least want people to watch this.
You probably can, man.
And be like, all right. I heard you used to take down the internet.
It's possible. No.
Do they
I played with I can't remember his name now. Good night. He's from he used to be with NSKN. I don't think he's with NSKN anymore, but he is one smart cookie.
Yeah.
And there were times where he would be like, I think we should do this. And the internet would be like, no, I think we should. And he was like, no, we're going to do this. And he would usually win. But it was fun. I didn't mind. All right, so first off, I'm going to go ahead and play this attack 3 on the right side. So on the right flank here, I can give an order to 3 of my units.
These cards is the flank positioned like this for me and like that for you?
So your right flank is way over
opposite.
there.
Cool.
And my right flank is here.
Cool.
On your left.
Makes sense.
Okay, so I can issue an order to 3 units, and whenever you issue orders to units, they can move and shoot in whatever combination you want them to do. But generally speaking, you want to move all of your stuff before you shoot all of your stuff, just so that you can notice who has been ordered. Units that are on the red lines, like this one right here, can be issued orders by cards for this or that.
Could this card's orders send them into the middle?
Yes, it could.
And then they wouldn't be able to continue for...
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. All right, so we're going to... all right, well, let's see. We're going to go ahead and one unit is going to be 1, 2, 3, and we'll move our tanks on up here.
And you can battle.
We will, but we got to do
I was just
movement
noting
first.
it to myself because it's terrifying.
All right, and so we're also going to go 1, 2. They're not going to be able to shoot because they moved 2.
And they aren't your elite unit.
They are not my elite units. So we'll move them into the tree line there, and then I think my third is going to be to go, this could be very bad, 1, 2, up here with my elites, and we will open fire over there on that hill. Now, normally, since I'm on the same level as these two, there's no restriction in battle dice rollage. But if I were right next to them, I would suffer 1 because I'm shooting uphill.
Trying to take the hill, yeah.
So that's all I've moved. I moved my tanks, this unit, and my Panzer Grenadiers over here, and now we're going to shoot. So tanks roll 3, 3, 3, but towns and villages say that tanks get -1, -2 reduction.
If you're attacking with tanks.
If I'm attacking into that with tanks. So the guys are able to take a lot of cover in buildings and so forth and so on.
Just a few towers will
I only get to roll 1 die. But it is a hit, so that comes off the board. And now these guys move 2, but they're not the elite, so they can't shoot. These guys move 2, they are the elite, and they can shoot. So they're going to shoot 3 2 dice over here. And that's nothing.
Double miss, because if they were hitting tanks, though, that would have been a beautiful roll.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, generally speaking, when you're rolling dice, you're trying to roll the silhouette of the kind of unit that you're attacking. Doesn't matter what unit you are, you're trying to roll the silhouette of the unit you're attacking. So, I'll draw a new card to replace the one that I just played, and it is your turn.
This is so stressful already. Because you started the battle here.
Yes.
And in my mind, I just want to like zero in and focus on this.
Yeah.
But this isn't the battle.
Not necessarily. You have to
Like,
go with what you have in front of you.
The war is up here, and I have to go with what I can actually continue to manipulate.
That's correct.
What kind of positions can I get into? Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, maybe.
Can you, in terms of your pattern, if I was like here, you could go 1, 2, 3, or no?
What do you mean?
Is it a straight line only like this depict, or is that only the range?
You could.
Can this go 1, 2, 3? I don't know.
You always want to trace the closest line. So your artillery has 3, 2 dice on these guys.
Okay. That's kind of what I was asking, because it was more, in my mind, I was seeing it as a straight line like this shows. Like
True.
Artillery can fire like
That's
that.
Just, picture that as how many hexes away are they.
Yep, that's what I was clarifying. Okay, I think we got to do this.
Okay.
We're doing a order all units in the center.
Yes, that's a nice card.
Okay.
Well done.
So you suggest moving everyone first.
Yes.
And I really want a bit of defense over there, possibly. And I can move a total of 3, and forests don't restrict movement, right?
Yes, they do.
They do restrict
If you
movement.
move into a forest, you must stop. Yeah, it says
Okay.
unit moving in must stop, and it cannot battle.
So we're going to move 1 forward, which will leave them free to attack.
Yes.
There. We're going to move 2 forward, which they will not be able to attack.
Correct.
We're going to move 2 forward. They will not be able to attack.
Mm-hmm.
This one's over the line in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to move... Do I go into the forest?
You could move into the forest, which then gives them the opportunity to be ordered by a card on that field.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to fight anyone right now.
Correct.
So I don't mind that. This unit here, what's your range? Do I get a range of 3, 1, 2, 3?
Yep.
I do have a range of 3 there, so I'm not going to move them. I'm going to leave them up on the hill. I'm going to move this tank system. I can't quite get to a line, can I? What are you chuckling about?
It's a tank system.
Whatever it is. This fleet of tanks.
Fleet
1,
of
2, 3. We're going to move around the edge here. Oh, wait. They've got a range of 3. If I was able to get up to here, I could actually fire on you, couldn't I? They were here. 1, 2, 3.
You could.
And I could fire on these guys.
Yep. And he'll say that no movement restrictions. So, yeah. There you go.
And then these are staying exactly where they are, I believe.
There is line of sight. I do want to let you know that.
Okay.
So if you go from center of hex to center of hex, and if that line cuts a hex that blocks line of sight, then you can't shoot. I think from here to here you're good to go. Okay. Because you take center of hex here and you draw a straight line to here, you're good.
And here's a question. Do I use my artillery now, or do I set them in the forest to give them a bit more defense in the future? You don't have line of sight on them.
I don't understand that question.
These.
I know.
I can move them 1.
Right.
Why don't you understand the question?
Ask the question again.
Do I use them now to
Yes.
fire? Well, let's see if I kill you first. Can I not move them yet? Can I pause my movement?
No.
So I need to complete all my
You have
movement.
to complete movement. So basically, what artillery can be good for is shooting first, weakening the enemy unit, so that then somebody that's adjacent can maybe shoot up, take them out, and then advance.
You said you were going to explain close assault.
Okay, you're right. All right. So with infantry, if you're next to an infantry unit, and you completely wipe them out, or you make them retreat, you can take ground. With tanks, if you're adjacent to them and you make them retreat or take them out, you can take ground and then attack again.
Okay. That's cool. So I will move these forward 1 then.
Okay.
I'm hoping I can take that hill from you.
A good combination, in my opinion, would be artillery first.
Well, tanks got range on you as well.
Not when you've done that, though.
Because it blocks line of sight.
Because your unit blocks line of sight.
I don't know that I can take you out if I don't have the tank support.
Oh, wait. You know what? I don't think they would block line of sight.
Is it 1, 2, 3?
No. Because you still draw, but remember these two guys are on a hill.
Hills?
These guys would be down in that valley.
Your call on that.
I'm going to...
Except from adjacent hills at same
I'm going to say... Well, it's not adjacent, but the hills aren't the one... It's the unit that would be blocking, but they're below.
Okay.
I'm going to say, even if it's wrong, I'm going to say that they won't block line of sight because it makes sense.
I'll take that rolling. All right. I've resolved all my movement. Let's go start attacks in this direction.
Okay.
I believe I had an attack left with them and an attack left with them.
Yes, because both of the other
Both of these two advanced twice. Right. I'm going to attack for
Panzer
a total
Grenadiers.
of 2 dice.
2 dice, correct.
Panzer Grenadiers.
You have your own dice. Don't use mine. Unless mine start, rolling
Not
poorly.
working, and then we'll trade.
See, I might want to use your dice now.
You might have to.
Those are 2 Grenadiers. That's pretty bad.
I'm then going to do a single attack against the same unit. So I'm rolling 1 die this time.
Stop. If I may, if you have the only one chance of knocking one of these guys out.
Yep.
And that's the last guy that has range on them.
Oh, I've got range right here, don't I?
You do. But if these guys shoot at these guys right here with just 1 die, you're going to be rolling hit, 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 but then a
retreat.
A retreat is also a hit because I don't have anywhere to retreat to. So if you're going to be shooting only 1 die with these guys at somebody, it should probably be that.
You might as well put the odds down. Yeah. Thank you for the pinpoint there.
And that's always a miss.
Okay, well,
good job.
Didn't matter either way.
It did.
I appreciate the strategic advice, though. I'm glad it didn't pay off in my favor. Now you can't claim that you helped me. All right, tank to...
I'd go artillery first.
Artillery, though, could be more flexible. If tank takes out 3,
go for it.
Artillery could be more flexible.
You're good.
Tank to unit. 3 dice.
Mm-hmm. 1 and a retreat. Okay, so here's the bad thing.
They're leaving.
They will now retreat here, which takes them out of the line of sight.
Yep, that's okay.
So that's one of the...
Yep, that's
for these guys, because now these guys, they could... No, because it's 1 and then -1 for shooting into the tree. These guys don't have line of sight on anybody anymore. But your artillery still do.
I will go ahead and utilize my artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be 2 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4 would be 2 dice. I'm looking at 1 dice all the way out here.
I usually always count, since I know the pattern, I always count 3, 3, 2, 2.
3, 3, 2.
Because that's how many. So how many they are away is irrelevant. If you can just remember, it's 3 dice, 3 dice, 2 dice, 2 dice.
I'm gonna pepper these guys with my artillery. That's gonna give me a roll of 2, and hopefully push them back a little bit farther.
Boom, boom.
Grenade and a hit.
Ouch.
Okay.
Peppering my grenadiers, man.
And then I draw up a card.
You do. You discard the 1 and draw up. Oh dear, oh dear.
See, I want to play... I'm saying 8-year-old me wants to play Risk and pause Risk and play this every time you have a ground combat, but somehow have the math worked out so you can bring the right amount of forces into the table.
All right, so... nope, that's not the right card. That's not the card I thought. That's not what I thought it was.
Have you ever heard the greatest version of Star Wars possible on the board game table?
No.
You play Rebellion. Every time you have a space battle.
With Imperial Assault?
Every time you have a space battle.
Oh, with X-Wing?
You resolve with X-Wing. Every time you have a ground battle, you resolve with Imperial Assault.
That sounds like a lot of time.
It's like 80 hours.
That's a time sink and a half for like 10 minutes a movie. That would be unbelievable. Okay. Man, you are backing me up.
Very
my
talented.
elite units.
I appreciate the compliment.
But this is what we're gonna do, because we you know, we're gonna do an infantry assault. Issue an order to all infantry units in one section. Units may move up to 2 hexes and still battle, or move 3 and not battle. Terrain battle restrictions still apply. So we're gonna go with What do I do over there? I'm gonna do it in the middle.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go 1, 2, up like this. And then 1, 2.
Hello.
1, 2. And these guys we're gonna move 3 and not battle over here into the woods. And I just opened up a lot of stuff, but we'll see how it works out. See. All right, so
you're moving your. Is it all of one unit?
It's all infantry units.
All infantry units.
Yeah. So I don't get to move my. I don't get to shoot with my artillery or my tanks. All right. So we will start with. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. With them here. Yeah, we'll just stay there.
What are you figuring out now?
I was just trying to see if I could get these guys into the battle,
okay.
But because I'm only shooting with 3, but I should be trying to.
Because you.
I just don't want to stick somebody here.
You got to move them and attack now.
Yeah, I can attack.
So you got extra movement on each one of them.
Yeah. So we're just gonna double up. We're gonna go here first from here.
Okay.
So that is going to be 2 dice.
And I'm on a hill.
Yep.
Did you decrease for shooting up as well, or are you?
No,
I'm
on
the hill.
Same level.
So it's 1 hit.
So yep, that's 1 hit.
We'll stack them here, then you can toss them in the box.
And here we have 3 -1, 2.
So 1.
No, 3 -1, 2, because it's 3 dice because I'm adjacent. But it's -1, so it's 2 dice.
-1, and then terrain protection applies only against units battling from below. That's what this bottom thing
That's
is.
correct.
Gotcha.
So it's still 2 dice.
Strong
one
could you
more.
not? Maybe.
One more still. Okay, that sucks. But we will go with 2 from over here now too. And miss. Horrible.
Okay.
Horrible. And and that is my turn. You're up.
Okay. Counterattack, I believe, lets me copy the card you just played.
Yep, that is true.
So I can move all infantry
in one section.
Up to 2, and then press a big old murder button.
You can move up to 3,
but
and not battle, but up to 2 and still battle.
All right.
That is cool.
Let's see here. If I move on to here, do I still get the battle because they started activated?
No movement restrictions, that's correct.
I mean, just because they're out of the middle zone then.
No.
Because they started in.
You gave them order because they were in the correct spot. So yeah,
they'll be able to battle. They'll be able to battle. They'll be able to battle. 1 down. And 1. Do I go here?
to remember your objective.
I see it there. I see it. It's very pretty. It's shiny, but the river and the people, and I could encircle you on horses, basically.
That's correct.
All right.
No, you're not on horses.
What kind of horses?
No, you're not on
little
horses.
tiny horses.
You're not on
Tiny little
horses.
pocket horses.
He's not on horses.
Charge, cavalry! I'm gonna fire here.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So that is 3 dice.
Yeah.
You use this should be an elimination. And it is.
Yep.
So you take that and put it right there.
Awesome.
That comes off the board.
I am going to fire.
Now, you can take ground here. I don't recommend that you do, but you could take
I
ground.
think I'll stay where I am.
Yeah.
Appreciate the offer. I am going to fire here.
Okay.
That's 3 dice still, right?
Yep.
Come on.
Okay, it's 1 hit,
One hit
retreat.
and a retreat.
So 1 hit,
And I could take ground.
1 retreat, and you can take ground, but you can't. Infantry units don't continue to attack.
Yeah. That's the one thing I didn't want you to do.
The only thing that you would be doing is that you'd be cutting these people off from having line of sight.
Yes,
because right now they do have it. You don't have it if you come here,
Yeah.
but you are pushing forward.
I'm not taking ground. I'm more frustrated because I wanted line of sight on your... That's the one thing I didn't want to happen. I was trying to actually clear that hole so I would have a little bit more flexibility to these guys.
Gotcha.
So let's go ahead and do 2. So that'd be 2 dice. See if we can push you back a little bit more.
Okay.
One hit. Let's do another 2 dice from there. There we are. And let's finish off this with my last attack.
That's 2 die. It's 3, 2, 1 die.
It's 1 die. It actually isn't that good, is it? I could do a 2 die against.
You could do 2 dice against this guy.
Force him to retreat. Could also just attack your artillery. Which, if I got a hit on your artillery, that would not be... What is actually a hit on your artillery, though? Just the grenades?
Yep.
That's not nice. Yeah, let's just go ahead and ping this group. I'll roll 2 dice for it.
From these guys over here?
Yeah, from those guys over there. 2 hits. Awesome.
You are rolling well, sir.
Okay. Me and my cavalry. You should have brought your horses. Alright, that's my turn. I was actually very thrilled when I saw that you were playing that card.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. Let's see here. Okay. I'm gonna do all on the left, all on the right, which is right here.
Okay.
So, first things first, unit moving and must stop. We'll move these guys here. Get them on the edge, ready to use later.
This is a little bad for me.
We'll do...
See, in my mind, I just took the hill and then charged down with a cascade of men. I visualized so much.
Yeah. 3 over here. That's still only 1 dice though. So they're vulnerable. I'll go these guys over here. Man, that's rough. These guys are coming over here. 3, 2, that'll be 1 die. Maybe. Maybe. Well, here we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. First things first. These guys are also going to be attacking because it was all on the left. So what we'll do is we'll do these guys first, which is 2 up the hill.
2 up the hill.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's 1 hit.
1 hit. Okay.
And
3 clean from the other group.
3 clean from the other group, right? And 1 hit and 1 retreat.
You following him?
Yes.
Yeah.
We gotta start pushing you guys back down the hill. So that's that. These guys will take a shot into
single.
Yep. That's a retreat.
Does that force me to retreat or no?
It does.
Which actually is that's okay because I'm avoiding your.
You must go here or here, so my tanks are still going to be able to shoot at you.
Because this would not be a retreat.
And it's not. It has to go towards your board edge. So that's okay. Now I got 3 dice for my tanks. And that's actually 3 hits because that you're on the board edge, right? So
nice. So it's going to be a point.
Yep.
And you're tossing a lot of people back in the bucket.
I don't get this yet though because
you're going to be on it.
I have to be on it. That's correct. Which I should have rolled with them first, but I wouldn't have got 3 dice from them if I hadn't pushed them out. Yeah. So it is what it is. But
okay.
Your turn.
Yeah, I'm playing a infantry assault.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
These guys are gonna get a medal of honor.
Oh my gosh.
So,
it's easy company over here.
We're gonna go 1, 2. We're gonna go 1, 2. We're gonna go 1, 2.
And that gives you that medal.
It will, yeah. And we're gonna go 1, 2. So, let's see how this works. I'm gonna do a shot from here to here.
Yep.
Looking for. So I'm rolling 2. Am I rolling 3 actually? What's that?
Ambush. So after an opponent declares a close assault, which is what you've done.
How dare you?
But before he rolls his battle dice, play this card. Roll your battle dice first. If opponent's unit wasn't eliminated when forced to retreat, it may then attack normally. So you're attacking me, but I'm attacking up, so it's only 2 dice.
Okay.
But it's a possibility.
Yeah.
No.
Nothing. Okay. And I'm rolling 3 down.
Yep.
That will take you out.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to do... interesting. That was not the best move. Because these... Although, really the forced... Alright, here to here.
Yeah.
1 dice, because 2 minus 1 for the forced. 1 hit. Here to here. And that would be 2 dice, minus 1 for the forced.
Where to where?
Here to there.
Yes.
Okay. Retreat.
Do I want to come out? You're just going to get full... Oh, I have to retreat. I don't have a choice.
I will follow you in.
These guys?
Yep.
They can't shoot again, though.
Nope. Okay. Now, here, attacking here.
Okay. We got 3 dice. Only grenades.
3 dice, or a retreat.
Or a retreat. That's correct.
Come on, a retreat. 1 grenade. I wanted a retreat so bad. I'm going to do this same thing here versus your tanks.
Yep.
Looking for a retreat again.
Yes.
Yes!
Well, that's 2.
That's a retreat.
Right, but it turns into a hit.
Oh, okay, you're right.
It turns into a hit. So you didn't eliminate him.
I know. It still felt good.
Yeah, it did.
It would have been so sweet here.
That medal becomes yours for now.
Okay.
Well, we got to do it.
You have
Assault all in the middle.
all in the center.
But I mean, it's only 3 units, but we've got to start doing something.
They've got to push back.
All right, so this guy over here is going to roll 3 dice on that troop.
Okay.
So 1 hit, 1 retreat.
Okay, you following me in?
No. Bum bum bum. Was that my? That was your guy. Oh, okay,
Panzer
yeah.
Grenadier.
Okay, so I can't move anybody, but we are now going to use artillery against these guys.
Yeah, that's why it stinks that I didn't wipe them out. 3.
1 hit.
Okay. My dice are working a little bit better for me than you. Want to trade the
they're-
dice? You mentioned
No,
that
I'm
early
good,
on in
I'm
the game.
good.
You told me not to roll yours.
I'm gonna do tank to these guys, and that's 2 retreat and a hit. So
Do I have to retreat
you
twice?
have to retreat 2 X's. That's correct. So now that temporary metal goes back.
Oh, you're right.
And that is probably the most unfortunate. You're up.
What's considered an armored unit?
A tank.
But I don't have all of them. I need more. For this card to be worth it, I need more. Where's my horses? Come on. Come on. All right. We're going to do this. Recon and force.
Okay, 1 on each.
1 on each deploy. So, this is stepping up here.
Mm-hmm.
This is stepping up here.
Mm-hmm.
Although, do I even need to step? Oh yeah, they're not on the line. Yeah, that's stepping up there. And then, what's going on over here? This is going to pull up and around. Okay, starting here.
Yep.
Attacking. Oh, and this temporary comes back. If I roll well enough, this might close it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm rolling 3, right?
From here?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.
I always forget when the number of men come off a unit. It makes me think that I'll roll less dice, but that's not quite how it works. But I have noticed that my brain keeps having to work around that number because I'm like they're weaker, but still able to do.
You got him.
Okay. This one. A grenade and a retreat.
Yep.
The other one though would be a tank grenade or retreat.
Yep.
But is it better with more dice with worse odds, or less dice? And besides, which one's more entertaining?
I always roll more dice.
Okay.
But that doesn't that is
I don't
not
know.
necessarily statistically sound.
I don't know the technical math on it. I am going to target your... I like the idea of rolling 3.
Yeah. Did you get him?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
Oh, you were going after the artillery.
I was going after the artillery. Okay, and then I'm going to do a attack of 3. I believe I can reach your far...
Panzer Grenadiers?
Panzer Grenadiers there.
Yep. Go ahead.
And that'll be 2 hits on them.
2 hits.
All the way over here.
They must be running around with targets on their backs or something.
They actually all...
You've been pinging them all.
They all dressed
really
in
hard.
Bright white. It was a very
They had their
nice
winter.
uniform.
They had their winter gear on in the middle of the spring. That's what it was. Okay, or fall. Rather.
Well, they performed really well in Russia, so they said don't change anything as they came down north.
All right, let's see here. All right. I'm going to I'm going to do medics and mechanics. So we're going to roll issue an order to one unit that has suffered casualties. My tanks here. Roll 1 battle die for each command card you have, including this card. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Could you have had more or less battle cards? Command cards?
Sure. It's possible. For example, I played one card on your turn the other time, and then I played one, and I can't refill until after the end of my turn.
That makes sense.
So if I had played this at that time, I would have rolled 4 dice instead of only 5.
Cool.
So, all right. So what I'm doing here, for each die matching the symbol's unit, the unit symbol or a star, I get to gain back that kind of unit. So I got 1, 2. So I get to bring him back to full strength. Like so. And now, if the unit recovered at least one figure, it can also be given an order.
Okay.
So we will come, we'll go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Like this. And we'll roll 3 dice on this.
Yeah, that's bad news for me.
Not necessarily. I could whiff on it. That's
if you
what I'm doing right now. So 1, 2.
2 hits.
Yep. So it doesn't do a whole lot.
If you'd wiped me though,
I would have liked to have had at least a retreat, because that would have made you go back here. I could have come here and then attacked you again.
Yeah.
But I didn't get the retreat. So your turn.
Okay. I mean, I'm just going to double down. One thing that I've noticed, or one thing that I am noticing, is my ability to take advantage of these artillery or whatever, or these units.
Yes.
I did it. My first card.
Yes.
I copied your card, and then I got another activation.
Yes.
It's just for you to counter that.
Yes.
Is really, really brutal.
It is.
But that's, in your experience, is that common or unlikely?
Normally how you play this game is that we play this, then we switch sides.
Oh.
And whoever wins by the highest difference of medals.
I'm enjoying this enough.
You're doing really well.
I'm enjoying this enough. I'm not opposed to switching sides.
Well, that's up to you.
Here's the
kicker.
Here's the kicker.
Probe 2 in the middle.
I've got 2 straight in the middle. This should resolve it. Because all I really need is 1 more medal. And I've got your artillery there. You did frustrate me to be taken out by healing your tanks there a bit. But I am going to go 1, 2. Wait, I don't want to move 2. I don't have the ability to move 2.
Yeah,
I have the ability to move 1. I'm going to go 1. I have 1, 2 to activate.
Yep.
Doing a roll of 3.
That's a retreat.
Retreat. That'll take it off.
Yep.
Place it there.
So you won 6 medals to 1.
Yeah.
So what I would have to do if we played again,
you'd have to clean sweep me.
I'd have to goose egg you.
Yeah.
And I don't think that would happen.
First off, this is really cool.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
It is.
Second off, what is in your experience playing the game, how common it would be a sequence like that? Because I feel like the activate all my middle troops followed by double counterattacks was a pretty lucky series of cards.
It was.
Because I'm under the impression, and I don't know the deck, but I'm under the impression the activate everyone in the center is not... No.
There's only a couple of cards in there.
There's only a few of them.
Yeah. So that sequence of cards came up at the same time, which doesn't normally happen.
Like, here's another one. Order all units.
We're right. I'm talking about in the middle, though. Order all units on the flanks for you wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
This is so the scenario that we played here. Is this your classic way of playing, or did you set up a scenario based off of the fact that I'm a brand new?
Yeah, I wanted you to experience as many different unit types as possible. So this has artillery, infantry, and tanks in it. And then there's also variations on, because you could have, just like I had my Panzer Grenadiers, you can also have on the other side of this Ranger units, which are the infantry specials for the Allies. And you would have had similar things that way. There are also special forces for tanks as well. Just depends on what the scenario calls for. This also had a couple of different ways to get points with the area control aspect and eliminating.
Are some more
forces.
straightforward with like only infantry on the board?
Yes.
Or okay.
And some are a little bit more heavy on. This is actually one of the heavier ones with points of control, but with having 3 of them on the board. And I haven't looked at the scenarios a lot, but I think that's having 3 points of control for metals might be on the higher end.
It pushed both of us to really dive into the other people's
Sure.
forces.
I mean, if you look over here, I've got a victory point waiting for me.
Yep.
But I never took it because I had to get you off of this.
Yep. If you had that final round, if you had cleared me here on that dice roll, you would have gained a point, stolen a point,
yes,
and put me in a position where I'm not really able to get past your tanks.
I wouldn't really have stolen a point. I just would have taken one away from you.
It would have delayed me being able to
Correct,
reach
which is what I was trying to do.
So I think
it just didn't work out.
I think honestly that combination, but that last move there, that dice roll, was the difference between you being at about 4 points and me winning on this round.
Sure. Because you do have a couple of guys over here. You have 3 units that are pretty weak. Those tanks could have taken...
Your tanks, the next 2 rounds
yes.
were going to be... Because if you'd forced one to retreat, you would have been able to 0 him, and then the next round possibly 0 another one.
You can only do armor overrun once per turn, because if you could effectively... Technically, you could
walk a line of them.
Walk an entire line, and that's just too powerful.
I think you had a point here. I think you easily had another point here within the next round.
Yeah.
This was just a matter of moving on top of, and if you'd been able to activate these, my guys are super weak there.
The point being is that this is actually a lot closer than the final score of 6-1 looks.
Yep. This was fun. Thank you so much for teaching me.
Very well.
Hopefully you enjoyed watching. Make sure you swing over to follow along with Sam Healey and all the machinations he gets up to.
That'll be cool.
Whatever the case, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Go out and play some games. And also, charge with the cavalry.